Hello, everyone. This is the new project I am doing. Yes, this is the price that I did not buy it for. Now, this was a hutch that I found at the Habitat for Humanity in my hometown. And when I saw it, there was a piece of paper on it that said, it's free if you donate $15. So I donated $15 and I got the hutch and the buffet so that they were not connected actually, and the top part does not have a bottom, so I will be doing that piece in the future. Now this is a piece of furniture that was made by a company called Dixie, and when I looked that information up, I found a whole bunch of old furniture made by a company called Dixie. But this, I think, was built in the 80s, maybe, or late 70s. It had that spray-on fake wood that I had done another piece like this before as well, and I painted it black. Anyway, I just dusted off the bottom, and in the previous part of this little film, you might have seen two pieces of wood in the cabinet, and that goes to the drawers as a spacer, which I was glad I found that. Now, the bottom part of this buffet, the veneer was in very bad condition, so I thought I would cut off about 1.5 to 2 inches, and I would put on legs. Now, I do like the legs better than the way it was. However, you'll see that this tape, I took off 2 sides of it right away, but the third side was facing down, so I didn't take it off until the next day. When I took it off, it had already adhered to the veneer, and I ripped it off, not going with the grain, but against the grain, unlike here. So here I am pulling it off with the grain in the same direction, so it was fine. The next day I didn't record it because I figured nothing would go wrong, and it pulled off about 3 pieces of the veneer, which you'll see at the end. It's very tragic. So I took out the drawers and I cleaned them all up, and you'll see this the felt right here. Well, all I had to do was get a nice little damp cloth, and it cleaned up very nicely. I then also put Howard feed and wax all over the wood after I cleaned it up, and yeah, it looks really nice. So now I'm taking off the doors, and I think hardware removal should be easy, and I'm always shocked at how much time it takes and how it's difficult for me to find the correct bits. So I tried 3 different bits on this, and finally it worked. And I really think that everyone should use the square bits. They are the best. I labeled the hinges, so I put them back on the same area. And I did keep everything together in a little black bowl so I could find all of the nuts and the hinges later. And that's always a good idea. Also, if you can see the wood right here, do you see the speckles of wood? That is not real. I sand this whole piece down, and the wood is actually probably pine. It does not have any kind of coloration in it at all. But it does have kind of a red tinge to it, so I'm not sure if it's pine. Anyway, I don't know what wood it is, but the way it looks now is not real. So for any of you out there who hate when people paint wood, this is not even real wood. Well, the veneer is wood. I think it's an oak, and yeah, part of it came off when I pulled the tape off. So I am removing anything that's sticky on the piece. I cleaned it all with simple green. I wiped it all off with water, which I don't always do, but this was pretty dirty actually and dusty. So here's the simple green and cleaning off the drawers. I like simple green, and I've been told it doesn't hurt the environment. Now, this wood that I'm cleaning right now is not very high quality, and I sanded it a little bit, and it looked like maybe it wasn't real. It could have been painted on as well, but I sanded it just a tiny bit. I put some walnut minwax on it, and it made it look a little bit better, I guess, but I don't really know. Now, I was not going to paint the back of these doors just because the fake wood looked fine. However, when I was painting it, I got some paint on the back, so then I decided to paint the front and the back. So I sanded the fronts of these, and I never sanded the back, but I did put the Zinsser bin on everything except for the part that I did a whitewash on. Now, I had the hardest time. The knobs on this are pretty cool. I like them. However, the way they were assembled, they came kind of apart in a weird way. The inside of the wood handles, there should have been some metal screw bits in it, but it came out with the screws themselves. So then I couldn't remove the screws, and it was just drama. So here's me sanding all of the furniture, and you'll see right here, this is the wood that I am going to cover with tape, and I'm going to not do anything to it until the end, and I whitewash it, and then I put a white wax on it. Keep in mind, I am a little bit surprised that after I whitewashed the wood, it kind of looked pink. And I think maybe the tannins from it made it look pink. Here I'm showing the Serve Prep sander is very squishy, and so it's really good for going around round parts like this handle right here. I'm also not a person who likes to paint a lot of wood. However, once again, this was $15 buffet. It was Habitat for Humanity. Nobody wanted to buy it, so if it goes to somebody else and they use it, great. Now here I am putting some sinkholes into the wood. And the reason for that is I added this wood because I wanted to raise the height of the buffet. So this piece is part of the wood that I cut off of the front, and the other two pieces were the side pieces, so I reused them. I glued this down, and then I screwed them in. And I do not show putting on the legs on this video, but if you look for a video that I had two side tables, the legs are very easy to put on. You put you drill a hole in the middle, and then you put some little drills where the screws will go, and you put the little core part of the leg in first, and you screw on the leg. So it's not difficult actually at all, but I didn't record it because I made a mistake and I was frustrated. So sometimes it's hard to know how deep the wood is. So if you look on the right hand side of the inside of this cabinet, you'll see that the wood is perfect. Then all of a sudden you'll see some white patch job. Oh, why is that? Oh, that's because I drilled all the way through the wood and I used quick wood to make the hole go away. I know. So here I am. I put the tape on and I'm making sure it's all secure. I do put Zinsser bin before I paint it with the paint that I've used twice before now. So here I'm showing that I am doing a scuff sanding on everything. And so the paint that I'm using is a latex paint that my stepdaughter paid $5 per pints at the Restore, and she bought two colors. One was a gray blue and one was a gray green. And I mixed them together. I add a little bit of water, and then I painted the whole thing this color here, and except for where it's covered with the tape. So here I am doing some detail work because I don't want to paint the inside of the cabinet. And right now I can't think of the word. Is it wicker? Whatever this kind of fabric that is on these doors is. Any of the flaws that you see were originally here. I was a little bit surprised that the, I'll call it wicker, was in pretty good condition. But when I flipped the door around, I could see where whoever had made it, there were flaws. But because it was a dark color, I don't think anybody really noticed. So if you notice it now because it's a light color, yeah, that's part of the problem with that kind of material, in my opinion. You have to put it on properly, and once it's on, it's a kind of a annoyance to put new stuff on, so it wasn't worth it to me. So if you see the errors, I see the errors too. Now you can see on the right hand side by my hand, there's a little bit of a white patch job. I do put 2 coats of the Minwax walnut stain on there, and if you see it with your bare eye, not on the video, it looks pretty good, but with the video it looks like it's still white, and you'll see that later on in the video. Now I wish I could paint this fast. This is times 20. Okay, so then I put 3 coats of this latex paint on, and then after that I let it dry completely, and I put the polyurethane that you will see a picture of a little bit later. And the mistake I made is that I was trying to use things I already had, and I had a warm tone polyurethane, which goes great when you have warm colors. But when you have cool colors like this gray, it kind of made it look not so gray. So you'll see it at the very end. It looks like it's a different color from the front, but it's only because of the polyurethane. So if you're going to use polyurethane, make sure that it's clear if it's going to be a cool color. Now you might think it looks a little bit watery. I did put water with the latex paint, which is very easy to do. It makes it easier for me to brush it on. And also I think it makes fewer brush strokes. At the very end, you will see a picture that looks all white and shiny, and that is the top of this buffet. And I'm not sure if there's other words for buffet. I think credenza might be a word that some people use. And this is also the wrong tape. I was looking around for tape to use, and this is for painting, but this is painting when you have rough surfaces. And it says to take it off within 5 days. Yeah, right. I left this on, not this part, but the part when I was cutting the wood. I left it overnight, and that's why I think that the veneer came off. It was stuck on there. This I put on, I painted, I let it dry, I painted again, I let it dry, I then did the touch-up paint. When it was still a little bit damp, I took off the paint. And the reason for that is that way the rest of the paint doesn't peel off, which sometimes it does do. When I do paint jobs on walls, if I wait until the tape is dry, sometimes it will peel the paint off, so it's not good. Now also, if you look very carefully on the wood, you'll see some dark patches. Don't worry about that. Later on, when all of the paint is dry, I go around with my 80 grit sandpaper and I get all these dark colored pieces that I didn't get off very well with my Surf Prep sander. So once everything is dry, I then sand it better. I then put Dixie Belle's white wax on the wood that has no zinsser bin, no color, that wood right there. And yeah, I like, oh, actually, sorry, I whitewash it first. Okay, so here it is before it's whitewashed. I then whitewash this wood, and it kind of started looking pink. So then when I put the white wax on it, thinking it would look better, it looks pink. So you'll see, it's not whitewashed yet. And here it is, everything's drying. I put Howard Feeden wax inside the drawers and outside for them to more easily slide. Look how much nicer that looks inside. Oh, I think it looks great. Now these are reversible. You can use the drawers on either side, no problem. Yeah, I think it looks pretty nice. Okay, you can see also the grain of the top. After each coat of polyurethane, I use 400 grit just to get the little pieces that might have fallen, or if there was any little pieces of paint that got in there. And if you came to my house and felt this, it's very, very smooth and lovely. And after I sanded it, I then wiped it down because dust did form, and this was the polyurethane that I used. And it was quick drying. Now here I did the I whitewashed it, and then I put the white wax on it. And I don't think that my pink walls are making it look pink. I think it's the wood itself. But I will take pictures later on for posting it online. And you can also see the polyurethane made it look a little bit warmer green. Here's where the veneer was taken off. And yeah, wasn't pleased about that. I flipped the drawers around just to see which ones I liked which way. There's the name brand. You can see I painted the inside of the doors. This side was a magnet, and the other side is a latch. So I have no idea who did that. Here are the new legs I put on. I think are really cute. When I was in high school, I loved preppy things, and the preppy colors are pink and green. So I guess this is an homage to my high school youth. Now, if you look on the below this, you can see where I drilled through the wood, and you can still see it looks kind of white, but I swear, when you look at it, not on this film, it looks pretty okay, I think. So I might put one more little bit of a touch up of that. And here you can, okay, so here's another view of it. And here are the measurements. I will put this on Facebook Marketplace, see if I can get any money. And if I can't, then I'm going to donate it to the Humane Society's shop that they have here in town to help the animals. So here's the horrible veneer coming up. You can see it right here again. Oh, kills me. Here's the shiny top. Oh my goodness, that polyurethane is nice. Okay, so the Howard Feeden wax I used on the inside. It smells really good. Here it is before. Here it is after. I think it looks better. I like the legs a lot. Okay, thanks a lot for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't, and have a great day.